Thank you very much for coming in and having a look at my projects today. So this is from the OSAT, or One Stamp at a Time blog hop that I did last week, and I had a lot of requests asking how I did this origami box, and I've actually interpreted it so that I use a lot more of the scoring tool. I've got some sad news though, everyone. It's not going to be in imperial, it's only going to be in metric. So my head just could not transfer the measurements. So hopefully one of you are really clever and can do a little bit of changing it up, or hopefully I can find a tutorial for you that can change it over. So I'm going to be working in centimeters. Now with this origami little box, I've used it as an embellishment box, which you can see is like totally adorable with these little cute boxes, and they actually come out these little boxes, as you can see, very sweet. And I also added a little bit of the paper at the bottom so that it would match the base. So if you were to send it empty, it would look super cute and all matching like that. Now with the designer series paper, it is a little bit thicker than origami paper, so I've just adapted the measurements so that it fits nicely in here. And this was actually a design for a pill box, so I've adapted it to be something much nicer, which is the embellishment box. So let me just show you how I made this cute little gift box and the cute belly band there. So I'm just going to put up on the screen now what the measurements are. And again, I'm sorry for those that don't work in metric, but now you know how we feel when we see inches, although we're getting used to it, so sorry about that. So I've done the measurements here at 21 centimeters by 26.7. So it's basically an A4 sheet of paper, but I've just taken 3 centimeters off the edge. So what we're going to be doing to start off with, I've used the designer series paper neutral stack, and whatever side you want on the outside, then have that at the bottom. So we're working from the inside here. This is going to be in the inside. So every 3 centimeters, I'm just going to score that. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18 centimeters. Okay, so now that we've done that, now you guys are probably not going to be able to see the score lines too well, but it'll give you the idea of what you need to do. So the first thing you need to do is, now that you've done those score lines, is just fold up your corners on each side to line up with that score line. So even though this is origami, I've kind of adapted it, as I mentioned, with the scoring tool so that it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so that's simple, 4 corners. Now there's going to be the top of the box. So this bit here, that's the top, and this is the bottom. So the bottom is going to be the only one that comes in this way, so we'll score that one. But all the rest, actually no, they'll all be the same. But anyway, we'll just score them all. Doesn't matter if it goes a different way. Preparing for this video, I realised that it's a lot easier to watch someone do a tutorial on origami than it is to actually teach it. It's really challenging. So I'll try my best, and I'm sorry if I bamboozle you, but I'll try and make it as clear as I possibly can. So once we've done that, we also want to fold in the edges. Like, you can fold it yourself, but again, as I mentioned, I want to start using the scoring tool a bit more. So we're going to do 3 centimeters and then 3 centimeters from the edge here, which is actually, what have we got here, 23.5. Come here. There we go. So that's just giving you those lines, and again fold those in just to give it a nice crease because we're going to need that. Now the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a little fold here so that this can fold in and start creating that box. So the best way I found is you can either just fold up, it would be from this side, sorry. So you can do it like that, where you bring it round, but I think it's actually easier to use the diagonal board, so I'm just going to bring that in. And hopefully you all have it because it's a really cool tool. I just don't think it's utilised enough. So we're going to make sure that it's in the right direction, which is that one. So going to the right, because we want to create a scoring line from here. That's going to go from that edge. Now I'm just going to make sure, bear with me if I get a bit lost, because I can confuse myself very easy. I've got a little template here so that it can show you where I've folded it in. So we want to go to this one, to the third line up, and yes, I was right, going from left to right. So sit it up the top there, flat, and we don't want this square here. We don't want that one. We want to start at the third quadrant, the third square. Once you're folding it yourself, it'll be a little bit easy to see all your score lines. So what I found with the diagonal plate, which is really awesome, is you can line it up to where your fold is, and then just go straight from there, and it will actually hit where you need to go. So just trust it, although this time it's not going to do it for me. I'm going to be straight. Oh, that's why. Gotta go the next one up. There we go, that's better. So just make sure you're getting it right on that score line, and then it will go up until the corner of where it needs to go. And we want to do the same on this side as well, because this is going to be our fold, but of course we want it to go in a different direction. So again, up in the corner, or up in the top, we want it flat. Sorry, I can't show you that. There we go. So flat against the top. And we want to start not this first quadrant, not the second, but the third. So you can fold to make sure that you've got it right in a groove there. And just go directly up into the corner. And so it will take you to the corner of your fold there. So they're your two folds that you're going to need to start building the box. Okay. So, I was just making sure I did the right thing there. I told you it's easy to get bamboozled with this. So what we're going to do is actually fold, and then it's going to come back like that. So can you see how already this is taking shape? So that's going to be our base. And that's going to come round, and that's going to come round and over and then under, like that. Okay, so that's just, we'll come back to that, but just so you know, that's where we're heading. So that little fold there is going to help us create one part of the box. But let's start at the top so that we're folding everything together. So now what we're going to do is, I'm just going to create this little flap. So we'll go back to the metric scoring tool, and very simply we'll just line it up on the edge and on the top, and we're going to go, because this is 18 centimeters, so we want to go to 18.5. Will that be right? 1.5, yes. So 18.5 centimeters is going to be 1.5 centimeters, and that will do half. It's actually better if you can fold it with the fold down, because we're going to be leaving that down. So fold that. Excellent. So that's the top, and that's just going to fold over like so. And that creates a really nice, lovely little edge here on both sides that is going to be like the clasp. And just be careful too with your designer series paper not to push too hard. So see how this has got this beautiful little edge. Like I haven't glued that. That's all just sitting there. So now what we want to do is, again, like this little panel, this section here, how it's got this little groove, we want to create grooves here as well up the top. So back to the diagonal plate. Now the best way for me to remember when I was doing my setup for this and trying to make sure I got it correct was we want it to be a point, like a pointing outwards. So with the diagonal plate, make sure it's lined up and it's snug in there. We're going to want to, with this edge from here to here, we want to go from not the first quadrant, which is there, we want to go to the second quadrant, and we want to make sure that we're lining up to the edge there. So see how that's creating one fold there. So we're going to go down here and do another V here. Okay, so that's one. But because this is on this direction, it will work out that we can use this same direction to do our other quadrant. Now that might seem confusing, but remember we want it to be like a little arrow. So we've got one side here, and now we're going to turn it 90 degrees and do the other diagonal fold, which is going to be here, or score line I should say. So there's that point. See how that's got 1, 2. So they're the two top quadrants. And then again over here, I found that most of the time when you line it up, it actually, like with the top, it actually finds a little groove there that's pretty accurate. So see how there's two folds, two arrows there. So now I'll show you what those will do for us. So you just want to do a little bit of a push there to get that fold happening. And same with this side, because this is going to come in. Okay, did you see how I did that? It's going to create that little point, and just sort of manipulate that a bit so that the fold is nice. You want to keep that one down and happy. Okay, and again, if you wanted to, you can do that little fold, because that fold is really important too. So see how that's beginning to take place, and that little edge is looking really nice. So again, over this side, get that fold that you've just done, push it in to create that V, that point, and we want that all folded down nicely, so make sure it doesn't open up, and again pushing it into that V on that side and flattening. Okay, so I hope I haven't, as I said, completely bamboozled you. But now that we've got everything in place, so we go back to this fold down here that we created. So we're bringing it in. Keep your little edge folded, bringing that in. And then that's going to create, so see how we're bringing it over and then tucking it in. So that's the base. And then the top, and this is where you can actually glue this if you wanted to. And then the top, we've got all nicely folded here with the point, and that is going to basically come down. And these outside flaps we want on the, well, as I said, on the outside. So just give that a bit of a score if it's playing up a bit. And this edge here needs to become a bit malleable, this point here. It's going to fold over as well. So At first it may not want to cooperate, but you just keep manipulating it, folding it, tuck that over there and bring it round. And as it's closing, it kind of does its little thing and folds where it needs to fold. And there you have that gorgeous little box that hopefully I haven't completely confused you with. If you have any questions, you can ask me. But at this point, I actually glued under the lid and I glued under here, just to give it a bit of sturdiness. And I found that that was enough, just those spots to glue. If you did want to, you could probably glue in this little section here too, but don't glue that flap to that because you want that to have some movement. So that's the box. Now you could just use that, you know, do a belly band and have a gorgeous little pen holder, or yeah, there's all sorts of things that you could use for that. Sorry, just whacked the camera. So yeah, there's lots of ideas that you could use for that, but we're going to take it that step further and we're going to add the little box in. Now the boxes I have found, because of the Stampin' Up paper, I changed it to 11 centimetres. I think the project had it at 12, but I found 11 centimetres was a lot better. And what we're going to do is go back to the metric plate and we're going to create these cute little boxes which end up about 2.5 centimetres. So because the metric plate doesn't have half spots here, I just moved over to the 15 centimetres because these have got like half increments. So that's a good thing about the metric plate. So when we're at the 15, we're between 15 and 26. So we want to, for half, it's 20.5. And I'll put it on the screen there so you can see, 20.5 on each side. And then we're going to fold in. Now we want to fold in the way that you want the paper to show for your box. I want this cool stripe to be on the outside and inside. So fold in each way. Now it may not be absolutely perfectly lined up. I mean this is doing pretty good so far, but it's just because of the Stampin' Up paper being thicker, but I still found that it was really good. You can't see. Now we're going to line up. Again, we want to use this part of the scoring tool because it's got the half centimetres. And what I did is I just slightly, I want to make sure that it's in between both the 15 and the 22.5. So yeah, make sure it's in between those. And then we're going to score at 17.5. So we're doing it in thirds. And then the other one's at 20. And we want to do it on the other side as well. Again, line up so that these are, it's in between both of those. And 17.5 and 20. Okay. Then we want the folds to be facing upwards. And we're going to fold at that third point. And then open back up. And do it every side. And the other side. This paper is so adorable. This is from It's My Party. Okay, so we've done that. Open that up. And just fold down the top, because we want these two corner bits to have the right fold. And again on the other side, fold that. And then what we can see here is already the start of our box. Now this is the trickiest part of the box, so pay attention. And hopefully, again, I don't bamboozle you. See these two corners? They're basically the best way that I could explain it, I was thinking when I was practicing, is try and get the right side into this corner, but then keep pushing so it becomes like an accordion. See how this all squishes together? And because you've done your folds previously, it should actually come together quite easy. And then you just wrap it over. Look how cute that looks with the different stripe. And again on this side, folding your right flap, try and get it as close as you can to the other side. Feels really weird. You feel like you're forcing it, but then all of a sudden it just falls into place thanks to all those little folds that we did earlier. And that is your adorable little box that is going to go inside our little gift box to make our embellishments. So you're going to need 7 of them to fill that up. And I actually found that the thicker, because there is a thicker edge, it was nice to have the thicker edge facing sideways. It just fits nicer in there. So hopefully that has helped you. Either that or I've really confused you all. But if you have questions, let me know, and I'll pop it on my blog as well, the measurements and anything that you might need to know. There's nothing else. Oh, if you wanted to, you could actually put, like what I did here when I showed you the box, if you wanted to put that little insert inside, then it's 2.5 by 2.5 centimeters. And when you cut off, you'll find that you can just stick it inside there, 2.5. And it's just, you know, another added thing, but it looks quite cute and neat, even just like that. I don't think it's too messy. So it's up to you if you want to do that additional step. But while I have you here, a few things that I just wanted to let you know. Firstly, that we have Celebration running. So if you live in Australia, Celebration's running at the moment, and you get a free product, and it's an exclusive product for every $90 that you spend on my online store. And also, you don't have to live in Australia for this one, but if you're a demonstrator, at the moment I'm organising demonstrator training, and so they will be modules that you'll be able to learn from that can help you to set up your Stampin' Up! Business online. So make sure you head over to my blog, www.craftykylie.com, and I have a demonstrator training tab up the top. And another thing, if you live in Australia too, is that we also have a joining special at the moment. Now, all my demonstrators get all my training for free. They get exclusive blog hops with guest stampers, and we get amazing opportunities being part of the Crazy Crafters. So at the moment you get $126 of product, and it can be any product that you like for free when you get the starter kit and join my team. So if you want more details on that, head over to craftykylie.com as well, and you can click on the join now, or just email me if you have any questions about what it entails. But there's no lock-ins, and it's a great way to get some extra free product, and you may even be able to make some extra money so that it can support our craft addiction, which is how I started. So hopefully one of those things will help you. Also, if you order in the month of January, I have a special host code club, and the host code club is going so well that everyone in the club at the moment, just for using one of the current host codes, is getting a free host stamp set. So that's pretty amazing. If you want more details on my host code club, again, head over to my website. So hopefully you've enjoyed today, and if you have any other questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.